Good morning here from Los Angeles. Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times and Aspiring Magazine. And I'm so happy to have our guests here. We're excited to talk about and talk with the legendary rock photographer Harry Langdon and our very own writer and photographer Jimmy Steinfeldt about their upcoming exhibition, Desert Rocks Music Photography, part of the Artists
Mhm.
Council's Through the Lens exhibition and sale, running March 11th through March 15th. This show celebrates the energy and the personality and visual power of music photography, capturing the artists who have shaped the soundtrack of our lives. Harry and Jimmy, thank you both for joining us.
It's a pleasure. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to this.
It's
good.
fun to
And
be here. Hey, the
love it.
dates of the show are March 11 to April 5th.
April 5th. Excuse my ignorance.
But
All
the
right.
important day is the opening reception this Thursday on the March 12, 5 to 7 p.m.
Love it. That's fantastic. I will be there. That's a beautiful thing. So, to start us off, tell us a little about the inspiration behind Desert Rocks and what sparked the idea to create a music photography exhibition here in the desert.
Harry, should I make a comment?
Oh, sure. Go ahead, Jimmy.
So Harry and I are neighbors in La Quinta, California, and I had the great honor of interviewing Harry some years ago for the Hollywood Times. And we're great friends, and I thought it'd be a great idea to approach the Artist Council in Palm Desert, a wonderful institution, and talk to them about a show of our music photography. And they said, we're having our once a year photography show coming up in March, and we'll give you and Harry a special gallery, and you can have a whole bunch of your rock and roll photos there. And Harry and I have been working on it ever since. I came up with the idea of a title for our show, Desert Rocks.
Love it. I love it. Harry, you photographed some of the most iconic musicians in rock history. When you're
Mhm.
behind the camera with a legendary performer, what are you looking for in that perfect moment?
Most of them are insecure when they come in for a photo session, believe it or not. So I have to feel them like ensure them that I'm not going to attack them like a paparazzi, that I'm your friend and I'm behind the camera and you could look at me with some kind of fondness, that's the beginning. And then just a certain rapport I begin to get as we're working, taking pictures. So most people, even Frank Sinatra, could be insecure. Their hair may not be right. So I try to make them feel secure. So what I usually do is do a shot immediately and show them. It used to be Polaroids that we showed them, but nowadays we can show them the image on the back of our cell phone. And they go, oh man, I look good, after so much makeup and everything. So that reassures them that they're looking good. So that's half the battle. And then from there on, it's just bang, 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 shot after shot.
That's great. So, Jimmy, as a writer and photographer, you approach storytelling from two creative angles. How does writing and music influence the way you photograph it?
Yes, well, music certainly influences my doing a photo shoot. I always have music playing. I ask my clients in advance of the photo shoot if they'll tell me some of their favorite music that they would like to hear during the photo shoot, and um, and then writing. Well, I think reading great books through the years is something that I talk about with a lot of the artists because so many of the people I photograph are songwriters. And so starting a conversation talking about what they grew up reading can be very helpful just to set them at ease and let them realize they have a fellow traveler with regards to reading and a love of books.
Yeah, love it. Going back to Harry, you've worked with artists whose images have become almost as legendary as their music. Is there one shoot or artist that stands out as especially memorable or meaningful for you?
Oh, that's a tough one to isolate one, but the first one that comes to my mind is Frank Sinatra. When he came in for a shooting, I was flabbergasted that he would allow me to take his pictures. But then Donna Summer came in on the scene, and Donna started a whole new series, an artistic look for me. That whole disco period was very, very colorful. So that she stands out. And also Joan Rivers, Jane Fonda. Yeah, it can go on and on. I photographed so many people. Each one it becomes my favorite when they're in front of the camera, and it's exciting to photograph complicated, volatile people and tame them down and get them to do maybe an 8 or 10 hour photo session in the studio.
Wow, that's so impressive, all those people you just mentioned. Thank you for those stories. And Jimmy, what makes music photography such a powerful art form, and why do these images resonate so strongly with fans decades later?
Uh, well, sometimes it has to do with the release of a new record. Sometimes it has to do with the tour that's just been announced. And so I study the newest music that the musician is putting out. And somehow I try to relate my choice of a background or uh, just maybe even in my mind, try to get on the same wavelength with their music at that time. You take an artist like Elton John. He changed so many times throughout his career, his types of music, even his look. So I like to be up to date on what the musician is doing at that time that I'm photographing them.
Thank you for that. As we mentioned before, this exhibition is part of the Artist Council's Through the Lens show, which celebrates photography as an art form. How does presenting music photography in a gallery setting change the way people experience these images?
Harry, you want to comment on that?
Well, there's my subjects from Tina Turner to Diana Ross. They bring back memories that maybe inspire them of a period that they fondly remember. And so I was excited to pick out 15 of some of my favorite pictures. There's Sinatra and the Rat Pack was really, for me, a very complicated, very dramatic story. And so those are things that maybe some people, I guess, have to be pretty grown up nowadays to remember the Rat Pack. But it brings back memories of, exciting times and exciting music, by the way.
And when you walk into the exhibit, whether you come early in March here or even into April, and hopefully for the opening on Thursday, when you walk in, you'll see four of Harry and my Sinatra pictures right on the front wall. Very large, beautiful prints. I have a live performance photo of Frank Sinatra and a live performance photo of Nancy Sinatra. And as Harry mentioned, he's got a beautiful portrait that he did in color, brilliant color of old blue eyes, and then a beautiful photo of the Rat Pack. Other photos that I've got in the show include Rod Stewart, Chuck Berry, Sheryl Crow, Eric Clapton, and so on. So I think it'll open the eyes of the desert community to the fact that this has become a haven for musicians to not only perform in, but many of them now live here. They've moved from Hollywood and other places, and many musicians live here now in the desert.
Very true. We're only 4 days away. I can hardly wait. Harry, music photography often captures raw energy, sometimes chaos, sometimes vulnerability. What techniques do you use to translate that emotion into a still photography?
Well, more often than not, we have the music that the artist, let's say Aretha Franklin, has recorded in the background. And then sometimes, that brings back memories of sessions that they've forgotten about. Diana Ross, by the way, I played her music. Baby Love was one of her songs, and we played it on an old CD. And when we were shooting, she went, "Oh, baby." And during the shooting session, she started singing to her, music to overlay her own voice on it. It was such a treat to see this superstar trying to remember the words to a song like Baby Love. It was such a charming moment in time.
Fun. That's great. And starting to wind it down just a little bit, and then we're going to talk about another topic. But so for visitors coming to see Desert Rocks, what do you hope they take away from the exhibition?
I hope they take away several of my prints.
Perfect. That's a great way to put it. And before we really wind down, I want to talk to you, and definitely Judy wanted to know, talk about your photography books a little bit, both of you.
Harry, go ahead.
Well, I have a book, coincidentally, about Hollywood. My wife edited this, and it's got all the people we've just been talking about, but many, many more. There's about 90 pictures in it, and it's available on Amazon. And it's a thick hardcover, high gloss picture, picture book, picture of Diana and myself in the opening cover. And so that's a really fascinating book. But also, I've got a book, by the way, I'd like to mention. My father was an actor, and we have a book about him and his silent screen days. So those are some interesting things. By the way, my father has one of the first stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Harry Langdon. And so right in front of the ground was Chinese. I hope the name is the same, but anyway, so those are some little anecdotes I can throw in there.
And I have a book as well. Let's see if you can see it. Rock and Roll Lens with several famous people on the cover. And this is available on my website, jimmysteinfeldt.com. And of course, it's going to be available in the gift shop at the Artists Council. I'll be happy to sign a copy. And our beautiful prints that we're going to have in the show are signed prints, right, Harry? Your pictures are
Yeah,
signed.
they're all 15 are signed, and they're framed really beautifully with really exquisite frames under museum glass, and the prints are archival dyed images that last, they said, 100 years. Who's going to be around to see how they're doing? But for at least 100, 200 years, they're extremely valuable museum prints, signed, by the way.
Fantastic. Love that you guys have signed them. And finally, for aspiring photographers or music fans who love visual storytelling, what advice would you give to someone who wants to capture the spirit of music through photography?
I always advise young photographers to study art history. They don't have to go to school to do that. They can do it on their own. Certainly, they can go to school. And another good way to learn photography is to assist a very accomplished photographer. Harry, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, nowadays with the advent of cell phone photography, a lot of people can experience capturing an image of a person. Maybe it's a loved one or perhaps somebody famous. And it's a real treat psychologically to have saved an image of that person, their spirit, so to speak. And then they graduate up to actually using them professional camera and doing the same thing. The pictures, obviously digital lasts forever. So there's so many different avenues of experiencing photography, self teaching yourself and plodding along and getting to know not to make the same mistake twice and getting to know human nature is the main thing and utilizing your intuition. Almost every one of the pictures I've taken over the 60 years of time, I've had a hunch of how to do the shot. And my intuition told me, no, let's do this with George Clooney. I put him in a white suit at one point. And he argued with me. I hate that white suit. I said, but George, we're going to comb your hair back, sort of like a gigolo guy. And he goes, oh, come on. He was only in his late 20s. And so it turned out to be a very, very famous, that was strictly on hunches. Totally trust your intuition all the way through life.
Okay. So, Jimmy, those dates again of this
Uh,
exhibit.
yes, the exhibit opens on the 11th, March 11th. It's open through April 5th, and the big opening reception, which is free and free snacks and beverages, is this Thursday, uh, March 12th, from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Artist Council in Palm Desert.
Okay, Harry Langdon and Jimmy Steinfeldt, thank you both for sharing your stories and insights with us. The exhibition, Desert Rocks Music Photography, will be on display as part of the Artists Council Through the Lens exhibition and sale. Be sure to check it out and experience these incredible images that capture the spirit of music, library, and history. For the Hollywood Times and Aspiring Magazine, Valerie Milano, thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. And we will see you in just a couple of days. Yay.
Thank you, Valerie. I
Thank
really
you.
love doing this for you.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you,
And
Valerie.
have a great rest of your day in the desert. Bye bye.
Bye.